Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 4th May 2023. My name is T.S.V. Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube, Haribol TRSV Nectar, NECTAR, Nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. For the past few videos, we have been discussing about a term called yakshas. This particular video is no exception to the rule. It is a mere continuation of what we have been doing in my previous videos. Even today, we shall be discussing about another case history of a particular person that will authenticate our theory about this term and species called yakshas, who are very nice, very good looking, intelligent, and successful people, but who, alas, hail from the hellish planets. So let us continue. There was this person who had an initial of R. We shall address this person with that particular initial R. He was born in a particular country into a very affluent, illustrious, and intellectual family of great intellectuals, internationally famous nationalist leaders, advocates, etc. His grandfather was an international statesman who became the prime minister of that country, and his own mother, that is R's mother, who was that grandfather's daughter, became or succeeded her own father as the prime minister of that country. Both these people achieved incredible success as political leaders, administrators, statesmen, and prime ministers. However, in the year 1984, because of a particular political turmoil coming to a head, this mother was the prime minister of that country at that time, fell to bullets on the pavement or roadside outside her own house. This resulted in a lot of chaos in the country. This guy, actually Mr. R, had trained as a pilot and he was working as a pilot in some airlines when this thing happened. Due to the turmoil, a lot of violence, carnage, etc. happened in the country. At that time, his own mother's followers in the political party decided to make this guy become the prime minister of that country and gain public sympathy in that process. So much so that despite being just a pilot, when this guy became a prime minister, the political party gained three-fourths of the majority for the first time in history. This guy became a politician but was a novice in that line. His political leaders helped him gain control over the situation. He did very good job and he brought artificial intelligence to that country for the first time. However, as I said, this guy probably belonged to the devilish side or the hellish community, just like his own mother. His mother was a Yakshini and he was a Yaksha, as a result of which some things about him stood apart. First of all, he could generate a lot of wealth just like the Yakshas or the Yakshinis. Second, he was incredibly handsome and good looking, so much so that several young women fell for him. It is said that this guy had several suitors, lovers, and girlfriends. However, because he was a yaksha, he again got into turmoil with another terrorist organization and country, and his own country suffered and fought with that other country's terrorist organization for years. Despite his good looks, beauty, and handsomeness, he had no dearth of detractors and enemies. Later on, in the year 1991, when this guy's political party was involved in another election to happen within weeks, when this guy was touring around his own country to generate cash and votes, notes and votes. This guy went to a particular state, a particular village near the capital of that state, and there he was blown to bits by one girl. Let me repeat, he was blown up by a girl who was actually a human bomb. As I said before in my previous videos, there is an English proverb: don't judge a person by the way he or she lives, judge him or her too by the way he or she dies. It was this climax It made me think that probably, like his own mother, this guy was also a yaksha. And that is the reason why, despite being so handsome and good looking and having so many lovers, girlfriends, and suitors, this guy had ultimately destined to die from a human bomb who was a 14-year-old female and who blew up this guy in such a way that his handsome face vanished. Please listen to this carefully. He was a very handsome man who girls loved, but his assassination happened in such a way that he was killed by a 14-15-year-old girl who was a human bomb and who blew herself and this man up in such a way that that girl's face remained and her backside went into the accident, but this guy's backside remained, but his own face was blown up. So much so that the grieving public of that country could not see his face during the funeral. This particular story makes it far more interesting when you contemplate on the theory of the reason for such strange occurrence. Why should such a good looking, handsome, intelligent, and successful person who was working as a pilot come to such a sorry end? You may say that it was his own destiny that he was born into an illustrious family, but I would beg to differ because this guy's grandfather, his own great grandfather, his own father, all three were political leaders themselves in their own right, died peacefully on the bed, whereas his younger brother, who was decidedly demonic and whose mother was a yakshini, he himself was a yaksha, died very bloody, sudden, murderous deaths in the hands of people who once probably were either indifferent to them or really loved them. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular case history. Please give me your own expert opinions, thoughts, ideas, and views so that I may blend everything together for the sake of this society. Before concluding, let me remind you that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.